Game number 4 in our 8-game slate today in day 2 of the Bixby Invitational as two teams from the 918 match up in the Spartan Invitational in the second round with a chance to go to the championship game tomorrow night. It's the Ropers of Rogers. It's the Spartans of Bixby. Bixby defeated Ponca City yesterday to advance. Will Rogers took down Piedmont. Both teams undefeated on the season. Bixby at 1-0, Will Rogers at 2-0. And away we go with the Ropers getting the first crack at it to begin the game.
And one entertaining finish last game with Sapulpa and Bixby. This one should be another entertaining one on the guys' side.
Rebound ricochets out to Caleb Mitchell, who steps into the three. That's too strong. And Griffith Stewart way upstairs for the rebound. And a loose ball foul going against the Ropers.
It's going to be a busy day for Griffin Stewart at 6'6" for the Spartans with the height advantage. And that Will Rogers plays so physical, so he's going to have to do a great job of blocking those guys out and just being a post presence.
What a pass up ahead to Walter, who leaves it for Chance King. But that got started with the pass from Sean Lewis.
A great pass ahead. Great job pushing the basketball.
Sean King, Terrence Buckley Jr., Caleb Mitchell, Jay Oates, and Brandon Crossland, the starting five for Rogers as King misfires on the midi. It's out of bounds to Bixby. The starting lineup for the Spartans: Gage Knight, Anthony Walter, Chance King, Sean Lewis, and Griffin Stewart for head coach Lance Kite. He's Connor Pasby. I'm Grayson Singleton. Glad you're with us on KREFSports.tv. Stewart on the baseline cut. Gets it to go, and Bixby has scored the first 4.
Yeah, a screen down low that sets up Griffin Stewart with an open lane. All you had to do is just turn around and make it an easy shot underneath.
Will Rogers representing 5A Bixby, one of the bigger schools in 6A. And a deflection out of bounds as Walter broke up the pass. We mentioned Terrence Buckley Jr. in the starting lineup. Rogers is coached by his father, Terrence Buckley Sr. King can't get the layup to go at point-blank range. Lewis on the push, leaves it for Walter, and Bixby looking to extend a 4-point lead.
I don't think King expected to be that wide open and underneath the basket. He was expecting that thing to get contested.
Bixby is the designated away team in this game. That's why they're in their road blue uniform. And a foul on the drive by Sean Lewis. And it's Crossland, who had a superb game against Piedmont yesterday, is whistled for the personal. Lewis to trigger from the baseline. Knight out there with it, hounded by Buckley. Walter, Stewart. They play the give and go. Walter from the mid-range. Stewart with the offensive rebound. Shoots over Oates. And Walter gets back in there for another offensive rebound. And he's tied up by Terrence Buckley Jr. And the possession arrow keeps it with Bixby.
So you got to just keep fighting on the glass. You see Griffin Stewart working early, avoiding the over the back. Just go straight up, use your size, and grab that basketball.
Stewart on the cut off the inbound, can't finish it. And all sorts of contact on that rebound attempt. And Walter is called for the loose ball foul as Mitchell hit the deck, and the Ropers will get it back. Two and a half gone by. Rogers yet to get on the scoreboard. Mitchell playing with it out top against Walter. Slings it over to the corner to Buckley. One more to Crossland, and he's too strong. Oates with the offensive board. Second opportunity for Rogers. Oates can't convert. The rebound knocked around. Still loose. Crossland comes out of there with it and is tied up, and it will stay down here.
See all kinds of bodies going at it underneath the basket, similar to Griffin Stewart. Will Rogers in Oates can definitely get after it and be a physical presence and work on the glass with his size.
Mitchell out top with it, looking to go by Walter. Stops, pops, and rattles home the 12-footer.
Good pull-up jumper. Will Rogers desperately needed a bucket to get something in the scoring column early on this game, and you get a pull-up jumper there.
And Walter on his way to the bucket traveled. And now changes for Rogers as Cyrus Pete is the first man off the bench for the Ropers. First turnover of the game goes against the Spartans. Oates at the elbow. Sprays it out to Pete right off the bench and is short on the three. Mitchell chases down the loose rebound but can't convert the stick back. And here comes Knight for the Spartans, and he threw it behind Walter. Walter able to recover, and now he's open for three. Rims the basket, and Crossland corrals it for the Ropers. Up and down we go in a frenetic pace to this first quarter.
I love the pace of this. Both teams like to get up and down right when they get a rebound. They push it, and Will Rogers doing just that here.
Pete springs open. Missed everything on the triple, and King was there for the rebound. Rogers 0 for 3 from behind the line to start the game. Lewis comes out to get it. King now. Knight watched by Mitchell. Bounce it to King at the elbow. Handing to Knight. Back out Walter. Steps into a corner three. Left it short. And King was there for the offensive rebound. And the official said the ball made contact with something above the basket. They made a similar call to this in the previous game.
Yeah.
That time,
I didn't see it there, though.
Touch anything.
I saw the last one in the girls' game, but I didn't see it there.
So the ball goes back to the Ropers. Buckley playing with the tape job on his left hand. Dakarion Tightsworth is in the game as well. He started yesterday's game, coming off the bench today. Crossland can't finish. And the Ropers have missed a couple of those bunnies right at the rim.
Yeah, they've had some opportunities around the paint, just some gimmies.
Knight from way downtown, too strong. Crossland nearly tapped it in, and it's out to Tightworth. 3-on-1. Pete corrals it and couldn't gather himself before he traveled.
It was the right pass, a great pass ahead. And it's Gage Knight that made contact on the ball that kind of threw things off for Pete.
Lamar Lewis into the game for Bixby. And Knight bringing it up, hounded by Buckley. And he threw it away. Tightsworth coming the other way, evades Knight and scoops it in with the English off the glass.
Yeah, what a finish, man. Going up like that. He was kind of out of control going up, but being able to focus on that and get that layup to go.
King hands to Lamar Lewis, slashing to the hole. Tried to get it to Stewart, but it was knocked out of bounds, last touched by the Ropers. Oates was in there to break it up.
Good job by Oates. He's going to have a big day defending Griffin Stewart, and he was just right in the middle of the lane to deflect that.
Cameron Hammond into the game as Knight loses it on the way up. Numbers for the Ropers, and that's a travel. Sean King moved his feet before putting the ball on the ground, so both teams exchanging giveaways at these latter stages of the first quarter.
That's a play that you want to see King shoot that instead of trying to dribble and take it to the rack. He had an open shot there from the three-point line.
Connor Cook into the game for the first time for the Spartans. Both teams with a pair of turnovers. Knight open for three. Off the side of the rim, here comes Tightsworth for the Ropers. We're tied at 4 with 1:15 to go. Hammond working against the Bixby zone now. The bounce to Oates. The 10-footer is straight through.
Oates showing his mid-range game with Griffin Stewart guarding him. He just pulls up.
Walter trying to work on King. Clean closed off the airspace. 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Lewis knifing his way to the basket and traveled.
Trying to go at Oates.
And that help defense from Oates rotating over caused the travel.
He's going to take a breather. Good first quarter for him defensively.
35 seconds to go in the quarter. And a late substitution as Lance Kite wants to get Gage Knight out of the game. And Lamar Lewis comes in. Bixby extending to a 1-2-2 press. Lewis, Pete. Cut off on the baseline by Stewart. Here's Tightsworth. Down to 12 seconds. And a steal by Sean Lewis. Jumps in front of the Cyrus Pete pass. Lewis to the bucket. And he draws the foul, much to the dismay of Terrence Buckley, the head coach for Will Rogers.
Good job by Sean Lewis stealing that basketball and taking it to the rack, draw a foul. There's a chance for Will Rogers to hold on for the last shot, but the pressure on defense forces a turnover.
And Lewis's first free throw falls off to the left. Chance King comes back into the game, and Griffin Stewart goes to the bench. 6.5 seconds to go in quarter number 1. Lewis gets the second free throw to go. The Ropers up by 1. 2 seconds. Tightworth has to let it go. He does and puts it in. Dakarian Tightsworth with good minutes off the bench ends the quarter with a splash.
He just timed it up perfectly. He saw how much time that he had enough time to get that off from way downtown to in the first.
1 quarter complete. 9-5 lead as the offense takes center stage at the end of a defensive battle. We go to the second on KREFSports.tv, presented by Communication Federal Credit Union.
Does your family have a car loan? Or maybe more than one? I bet you've wondered if those monthly payments could be lower. Well then,
refinance those car loans with Communication Federal Credit Union and let us try to lower your payments. It's easy, it's painless, and there's no cost to find out if you've got the best loan possible. Apply online today at comfedcu.org. Trust the financing to Communication Federal Credit Union, connecting with you.
Fowler Volkswagen, this is Skylar. Yes, we do have some of those on the lot. Oh, you want to buy 3 without even test driving them? Amazing.
It's that easy at Fowler Volkswagen. Visit Fowler Volkswagen of Norman, proud partner of OU Athletics.
Start of the second quarter from Bixby in the second round of the Bixby Invitational. Part of the opening week of high school basketball here in the state of Oklahoma. Will Rogers up by 4, 9-5. There's a cut to Stewart, and Stewart just uses that size advantage to lay it in, and a good set out of the quarter break.
Well, that's what they were able to do to start the game, and they do it here to start the second quarter with Griffin Stewart. Expect them to do that a little bit more with the size that he has, just being physical underneath.
The first quarter was a defensive slugfest. Ended with a Dakarion Tightsworth deep three. He starts the second with another triple, but this one too strong. The rebound chased down by Crossland, and he threw it away. Walter to the ground to pick it up for Bixby. 3-on-3 the other way. King draws the foul and will shoot two.
Great job forcing a turnover, winning that 50-50 ball. And just race down the floor before the defense can get back.
And King's first free throw falls off. As quickly as this place filled up for the girls' game, it emptied.
I don't know if you can hear it on the broadcast. It's a little more quieter than it was in the last game. Yeah, the whole upper deck is now empty. The students have left the building.
I guess class wasn't canceled for the rest of the day.
Not.
Pete weaving his way into the paint, threw it away. Sean Lewis on the attack for Bixby as he evades King, and a whistle on the rebound, and Walter is going to get called for the loose ball foul.
Just got to finish those at the end of or at the rim. This is Sean Lewis who got the steal. He goes all the way and just couldn't get that layup to go. Then you get an over the back.
For Walter, that's his second, so he sits down. Lamar Lewis into the game for Bixby. King working against Knight.
Caleb Mitchell, who hit 4 threes in yesterday's game, yet to hit one yet. Oates underneath, got position in front of King and scores.
That was a great feed. Good job by King, not forcing anything with Griffin Stewart right there. Instead, he dumps off a perfect pass to Oates.
And the Spartans throw it away on the ensuing possession. (11-7) lead for Rogers. Tightsworth finds King. The extra to Oates. The corner three is off the back of the rim, and nobody blocks out King. And he has a new possession for Will Rogers. Hammond's three is off. And another chance for the Ropers. Mitchell walks into one. Opportunity number 4. Oates fading.
He's got a good mid-range game. That's an impressive shot. Falling back like that with Griffin Stewart right in your face.
6 points for Jay Oates in this first quarter plus. Lewis tried to get it to Stewart. It was well played by Oates, but it trickled its way back to Lewis, and Lewis draws the foul.
Had a chance for Oates to get that steal, but Sean Lewis was able to strip it away after he tried feeding it to Griffin Stewart.
First one goes down for Lewis, and now substitutions for Rogers as Crossland comes back into the game along with Buckley. Connor Cook back in as well for the Spartans. Lewis goes 1 for 2 as the rebound pulled down by King. Sean Lewis now 2 for 6 from the charity stripe. Crossland one dribble, knifing his way to the bucket. And he's going to the line as the pace of this game has started to slow here midway through the quarter. Stewart was called for that foul. It's his first. And Crossland's first free throw pops out. That ESPN sign is
Still there?
It's still there. It's
Yeah.
still wondering what the meaning of it is. Crossland makes one of two. And the lead is back to 6 for Rogers. First point of the game for Brandon Crossland as well. Lewis against King. Cut off on the baseline. Whips it back out. And the three-pointer is bricked by Aiden White. Rebound loose on the ground. It ricochets to King, or Lewis rather, who flips it up and in. And Griffin Stewart is slow to get up.
Another 50-50 ball that's won by Sean Lewis, just fighting his way in there. And he was able to make that shot. But now you see Griffin Stewart down.
Back on his feet. He was grabbing his knee. And Stewart will now limp his way to the Bixby bench.
See what the status is for Griffin Stewart, but Connor Cook in the ball game. This guy that's got similar size to Griffin Stewart at 6'5".
(14-10) as we resume. Crossland working on King. Bixby still in that zone defense. Buckley from way downtown puts it in.
Buckley firing away from deep. Man, he's showing his range.
About 5 feet behind the arc, too, as Lewis lost it going up and then took it away from Mitchell. Lewis 1-on-2. The Euro, the floater, falls off. And Cook has another opportunity for Bixby. Knight pulls back, and that one spins out. And a foul 93 feet away from the basket on Sean Lewis.
Yeah, Coach Lance Kike does not like that at all. Those fouls that are far away from the basket that you do not want. And now 3 team fouls here in the second quarter.
The Rogers lead at 17-10. Bombs away again for Buckley, but this one doesn't detonate. Knight trying to go reverse. Didn't touch anything. White corralled it. Lewis for 3. Bounces off. And Buckley is stretching the limits of the three-point line as King floats one up and in for Will Rogers.
Also with his offhand, too. King, the right side of the rim. You'll take another look at this again. Will Rogers pushing the pace. The Spartans struggling to get back on defense, and King goes all the way.
Timeout called by Bixby as the Will Rogers lead is now 9. 19-10 late in the second quarter, and we'll step aside on KRFSports.tv.
I'll tell you, the care I've received here at Advanced Orthopedics is wonderful, phenomenal. My knee had just deteriorated where it was bone on bone. Same thing for my hips. Going about my day-to-day activities, whether it was at work or with family, that was constantly on my mind. It affected my ability to sleep, ability to walk. I'm very happy with the staff here at Advanced Orthopedics. I'm so happy with the results that I've received.
(19-10) out of the Bixby timeout as Will Rogers has doubled up the Spartans in the second quarter, outscoring Bixby 10-5 to build this 9-point lead.
You're seeing Bixby miss a lot of shots around the basket, ones that they were making yesterday in that first round win. Now they're coming up short. And Sean Lewis has had some chances around the rim.
Anthony Walter forces the issue and draws the foul. Walter back in with those 2 fouls. He was working on Caleb Mitchell, and Mitchell gets called for having 2 hands on Walter. Third team foul against Rogers in this quarter. Walter just airmails Lewis into the Roper bench.
Yeah, Lewis going to him, but he thought he was going to stay over there near the bench for Will Rogers, but he kept going to him and just threw that ball way over his head.
5th Bixby turnover. Tightsworth forces the issue. Buckley, a long-range three, gets another one to go.
Yeah, starting to let him fly from the three-point line.
Buckley didn't play in yesterday's game.
That's crazy.
Instead, he started
He's
today.
fresh. He's fresh.
And he's got 6. Lewis barrels into Tightsworth, and an offensive foul against the Bixby forward.
Yeah, just nowhere to go for Sean Lewis. Kind of forced that, and good defense staying in front of him.
Buckley tried to bounce it to Crossland. The ball loose on the ground and taken off the floor by King. Knight the other way for the Spartans, down by 12. Walter hop steps and then fell.
Just so much traffic again for Walter. Try to Euro step and split defenders. You got to kick that ball out.
And now Walter is coming out, replaced by Lamar Lewis. And Walter plays with that aggressiveness.
Yeah.
And the next part of that development is going to be harnessing it.
Yeah, you love it, but when you got open guys, you got to feed it to them instead of trying to force the issue.
Crossland working on King. The baby hook rolls in for Brandon Crossland.
Great hook shot. Excellent touch on that to get it to fall.
Crossland with his first field goal of the afternoon. The lead has expanded to 14. 24-10 in favor of Will Rogers. Lamar Lewis on the take. Lost it, but it went right to King for the layup. And a quick inbound pass, outletting to Crossland from the elbow. Back rims it. Tightsworth with the offensive board and just flips it up and in one motion.
First, I was going to say, I thought it was a mistake for him not to come down with that basketball. He made the shot in air off that offensive rebound.
And a quick timeout taken with 1:17 to go in the quarter by Rogers. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. Along with Connor Pasby, I'm Grayson Singleton.
Appreciate you watching us here on KREFSports.tv. And Will Rogers has really separated itself from Bixby in the second quarter.
Yeah, they really got spread out scoring. It's not just one guy, and the offensive rebounds are starting to pile up for the Ropers to give them second chance points and just pushing the basketball. The Spartans are having a hard time getting back on defense. So there's been some transition buckets as well for the Ropers. So they're doing a great job here in this first half. For the Spartans, they need to find a way to get Gage Knight going. That was the kid yesterday that came alive for them, started to hit some threes in that second half in the win yesterday.
Spartans playing right now without Griffin Stewart, who left the game earlier in the quarter with an apparent knee injury. We'll see if he'll be able to make his way back. Aaron Hall is in the game out of the timeout, bricks the three-pointer. The rebound caroms to Lamar Lewis, who is fouled, going up for the second attempt. And the Bixby guard, 5'10 sophomore, heads to the line.
That's how you earn your minutes with plays like that, fighting on the glass. And Lamar Lewis was able to, 5'10 sophomore.
Lewis yet to score in the game until now. Aiden White into the game, replacing Aaron Hall. .7 seconds left in the first half as Lewis splits the pair, and just into the game, Jaden Cruz gets the rebound for the Ropers. Ropers swinging it around. Tightsworth leaves it for Crossland, and they couldn't connect, but Walter knocked it out of bounds, and it stays with Rogers.
Great look. Good job of attacking the basket.
Mitchell off the inbound. working against Lamar Lewis. Tried to dump it to Pete. Pete saves it to Crossland, who finishes on the other side.
Great save by Pete to keep that alive before going out of bounds.
5 for Brandon Crossland. The lead is 15, and Lewis draws the foul on Mitchell, and that brings Rogers over the limit. And Lamar Lewis will shoot 2.
Been some good entries to Crossland, who's made an impact for sure here in this first half for the Ropers.
And Lewis buries the first free throw. Bixby has gone deep into its bench in this game. 3 reserves are in the game right now. And what do we have here? It's a hold against Chance King, a loose ball foul.
That's one of those you just let go. There wasn't a whole lot of contact with Chance King from behind. But, of course, with over 5 team fouls, now you send the Ropers to the line after you were just at the free throw line.
Caleb Mitchell with 2 points in the game so far, shooting at the line, and he misfires on the first. Knight comes back in, replacing King. 17.6 left on the clock. Mitchell goes 0 for 2, and Walter reels in the rebound. Knight, White in the corner, missed everything. The rebound ricochets back out to Lamar Lewis. Down low, White fumbles it, got it back. Gage Knight to beat the horn, left it short. And that ends the first half with Rogers doubling up Bixby, courtesy of a 23-point quarter in that second frame. It's 28-14. Halftime is next on KREFSports.tv. Insurance premium increasing? At Right Way Insurance, our top priority is helping you secure the best rates while ensuring a smooth and positive experience. As an independent agency, we work with a variety of top insurance providers to meet your needs. Call us today at 405-607-6014 or visit our website at rightwayinsuranceok.com for a free quote. We're also proud to sponsor Moore and Norman Athletics. That's Right Way Insurance, 405-607-6014.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light, and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes, call Rob and Will.
Exercise has always been part of my life. I've always been an active person. I was diagnosed with spondylolisthesis. I knew that eventually I was going to have surgery, but I kept putting it off. I felt like I was being listened to, and I never felt any pressure. The techs, nurses, PA, surgeon, everybody that would come and visit me did a wonderful job. I just feel like they gave me my life back.
After a car crash, life can be hard. You're hurt, stressed, and then, when you need help the most, the insurance company doesn't care.
They drag their feet, question your injuries, and make things difficult. They put profits over people.
At McIntyre Law, we level the playing field. We take on the billion-dollar insurance companies so you can focus on what matters, getting your life back. Call us at 405-777-7000. You deserve better.
Moments away from the start of the third quarter here on KREFSports.tv as Will Rogers opened up a 14-point advantage over Bixby in that second quarter, outscoring the Spartans 19-9, and they take the 28-14 lead into the second half. Grayson Singleton, Connor Pasby here with you. Second round of the Bixby Invitational presented by Communication Federal Credit Union.
And we've seen Bixby miss a lot of shots around the rims. You saw Griffin Stewart go out, so we'll see what his availability looks like. It looks like he's back on the bench, so we'll see if he gets in the ball game here in the second half because they'll need him here.
Rogers with it first in the third quarter. As the Ropers go with their original starting five. King avoids the travel. Now gets it back in the corner. Leaving it for Oates, and Oates with the pump fake and the finish. Rogers goes up by 16.
Good find. King to Oates. That's a good delivery. Attack the baseline and dump it off to your big fella.
Sean Lewis had an eventful first half, as did Walter. And Lewis throws it away. Crossland picked it off. And showtime as Crossland gets fouled on the attempt. And he went trying to drop the anvil on top of Sean Lewis.
I don't know if the foul was just, from behind on Sean Lewis. Yeah, he got him at the lower part of the body. He got stuffed by the rim, but got fouled.
So the foul bails out Crossland, who got hung on that dunk attempt. And Crossland puts in the first free throw. Crossland led the team in scoring yesterday in the win over Piedmont. And he's got 6 here so far as he splits the pair. Bixby with one change to its lineup from its original starting five with Griffin Stewart on the bench right now. Connor Cook takes his spot. Walter thought about stepping back, and Mitchell closed out. Knight tried to get it to a cutting King, and he bounced it out of bounds.
Yeah, King cutting near that baseline. Difficult pass to make by Knight.
The Spartans have turned it over 8 times, and now Rogers gives it back. "17-point lead for Rogers. King maneuvering his way to the basket. The layup falls off, and Crossland coming the other way for Rogers. Racing into the front court, and he maneuvered around Knight. Couldn't finish the layup, but the ball knocked out of bounds by Bixby.
You just saw another shot around the basket, a layup that Bixby misses. That's what they did in the first half. Had a lot of chances around the basket that they couldn't get a shot to go.
Mitchell fires from the left wing and rolls one home.
Mitchell making them pay. There's been some chances for Bixby to get on the board, but then another three-pointer.
He hit 4 of those yesterday. That's his first triple today. King attacking middle, leaves it for Walter. Flyby by Mitchell. Here is King for 3. Can't answer. And Buckley with the quick outlet to Crossland. Stepping back over King. Walter coming the other way for Bixby. 2 minutes gone by in this third quarter. Lewis on the drive, takes the bump, and finishes in a chance for 3.
Lewis been a guy who's been aggressive going to the rack. He's just missed some gimmies in that first half, but this time he's able to finish that layup and draw a foul.
Richard Talone into the game for the first time today for Rogers. Cyrus Pete in there as well. Oates and Mitchell go to the bench for the Ropers. Lewis can't complete the three-point play, and the lead remains 18. Buckley steps into one and puts one down. Terrence Buckley with his third triple of the day. Lamar Lewis the other way had that layup partially blocked, and here comes King. Pete on the fast break has to slow it up. Bixby retreated, and then Pete threw it away. Walter gave it right back. Crossland on the reverse.
A little bit to go. We see Buckley with a deep three-pointer. He had a few of those in the first half. He's got quite the range from outside.
Lewis gets one to go. And quickly a timeout taken by Lance Kite. 39-18 here in the third.
As we see this deep three by Terrence Buckley, showing that range. Well defended. Hand in his face, it doesn't matter.
Well, Will Rogers, that was a tongue twister, by 21, 39-18 in this third quarter. Both teams undefeated on the year. Bixby won its first game of the year in yesterday's first round game of this tournament. Will Rogers coming in with a win on Tuesday and a win yesterday at 2-0. Bixby sets up the full court press out of the timeout. Buckley in that coffin corner. Gets it over to King. Lewis there wrestling for it, and it's out of bounds, last touched by the Ropers.
And see that full court pressure. Will Rogers having a hard time moving the basketball out of it. Terrence Buckley like nowhere to go with the basketball.
Knight launches from the corner. That one pops out. Buckley on the run for Rogers. Pete cut off by Knight. And he loses it to Lewis. Sean Lewis on the break, one-on-one with Oates. The layup no good, and a foul. And Oates protesting to no avail. And Sean Lewis will shoot a pair.
You see Sean Lewis go right at the contact, go to Oates to draw the foul. You can see Oates trying to stay away from it, going away to avoid a foul.
Third foul on Jay Oates. Players for both teams at the scores table. And Lewis knocks down the first. Tightsworth and Mitchell back in for Rogers. King out of the game. Pete out as well as Talone. Caden Davis in for the first time for Bixby as well. And Lewis goes 2 for 2. (39-20) as Buckley chases this down deep in the corner. Oates working against Sean Lewis. Spinning, shooting, and he drops it in.
He's got a good shot. Good job, good footwork by Oates, and he pulls up again with the jumper.
Oates into double figures with 10. Knight races past Buckley and somehow got the layup to go off the glass.
Just throw it up with his left hand on Oates. Man, heck of a job.
Oates had his back to Knight on that play. Buckley stops, finds himself open, and rolls in the 10-footer.
Can't just leave him that wide open. He was driving in, just pulled up, and there was just no one in front of him.
Walter from the elbow, and he quickly nails it, plus a foul. Tightsworth slid into the landing area, and Walter has a chance for 3.
Good find by Knight to get it to Walters, and he dribbles to his right, pulls up right at the free throw line.
First points of the day for Anthony Walter, who has been busy on the defensive end. The lead back to 18. Walter with a deflection. And he smoked the layup. Wrestling for the rebound. Sean Lewis has it, spinning on Mitchell. And that one doesn't go. Walter with the offensive board, and he threw it away. Tightsworth has it. King, 2-on-1, and King is fouled by Lamar Lewis, preventing the layup.
Yeah, you got to come away with the basket there if you're the Spartans on that end. He had so many chances around the rim. Did a great job of letting the defender go by. They just blew the layup. That was by Anthony Walters.
And you've talked about it all day today, how many shots at the bucket.
Yeah, you got to come away with those, especially when you get those chances to get an offensive board. You know, the rebounding ability by Oates.
Sean King flips in the first free throw. Walter applauded for the effort and hustle as he takes a seat. Aiden White comes in the game for Bixby. 2 free throws knocked down for Sean King. 45-25, 3 minutes to go. Knight with the cross. And Lewis couldn't handle the fastball from Davis.
That's another thing you can't do is cough it up. And we've seen the Spartans do that a few times here in this third quarter.
45-25. 10th turnover, by the way, for Bixby. And Crossland traveled, slid his feet after the jump stop. Eighth turnover for the Ropers. And we're approaching 2.5 to go in the quarter. Sean Lewis working against King. Had it knocked away, recovered. Connor Cook from 3. Rips the net. And the first points of the game for Cook off the bench, playing extended minutes with the absence of Griffin Stewart.
I knew he needed to step into a bigger role with Stewart out, and that'll help to hit one from 3.
It's his first three-pointer of the season. King back out to Crossland. Played by Knight. Now Mitchell. Bixby back into the zone defense. King with the active hands, or rather Lewis, but he couldn't save it back in. And Lamar Lewis fouls Tightsworth trying to go for the loose ball.
Yeah, laying out for that, but made contact. You know, the energy picking up here for the Spartans.
And a timeout taken by Will Rogers. 1:53 to go in the third quarter. 45-28 lead by Rogers in this third quarter and the second round of the Bixby Invitational on KREFSports.tv.
For 5 decades in the making, Air Supply. 50th anniversary celebration, Friday, January 17th, 7:30 p.m., Civic Center Music Hall. Air Supply, performing their iconic hits in one night. Tickets online at okcciviccenter.com or by phone 405-594-8300. Air Supply, live, presented by Civic Center Foundation.
A 17-point lead for the Ropers out of the Will Rogers timeout. 45-28 in this third quarter. The winner of this game
will head to the championship game tomorrow night to round out the Bixby Invitational. And the winner will play the winner of Sand Springs and Lincoln Christian. That game will conclude our coverage in this day 2. Mitchell, hard dribble to the elbow, pulls up. Too strong, and Lewis clears for Bixby.
You can live with that if you're the Spartans coming out of a timeout. That's a well-contested shot to get a stop on the defensive end.
White behind the Cook screen, knocks down a triple.
Starting to come alive from the three-point range. They need to start to hit some three-pointers, and they're doing so.
King on the attack. The floater, no good. Oates with the offensive board. His second opportunity, no good. Here comes Cook for Bixby. Lobs it to Lewis, into Oates. No call And the rebound knocked around, and Lewis out-hustles everybody for it. Gets it to White. Can't pay it off.
That's a really good look. Lewis was able to get that offensive rebound and get it to White at the top of the key.
Under a minute to go in the third. And a foul 35 feet away from the basket by Anthony Walter. That's his third. Bixby had that one to give. Bixby into the 1-2-2. King bounces it to Tightworth. Mitchell steps into one and laces it.
That pretty ball movement to free that open.
The lead back to 17, under 30 seconds. Cook at the nail. Nearly traveled, got it to Walter. Walter curling to the corner to Lewis. His three-pointer straight through.
It's a great job answering after a three-pointer by the Ropers.
4 seconds, Mitchell bounces it to Tightsworth. He's already got one buzzer beater, can't do it again. As the tip-in will not count. And it's a 48-34 game going into the fourth quarter. Will Rogers looking to finish this off and punch its ticket to the Bixby Invitational Championship. We'll find out if they can do it next as we go to the fourth on KREFSports.tv.
Check rock. All right, bet. Hard.
Dang, man, all these cars. Are we going to even get a play next?
Let's run it back.
Hard.
Man, who picked this court?
Visit Fowler Dodge, proud partner of OU Athletics.
You feel it yet? Prices rising and fees increasing, going up on just about everything. So you're going to find a way to offset that and get a bit of it back, right? Switch your banking to PayMe Checking. It's free, and it's only from Communication Federal Credit Union. The PayMe Checking debit card gives you real cash back when you use it, online, in stores, in apps, or at the pump. It all adds up, and the free PayMe account helps you get a bit back every day. Visit any Communication Federal branch or go to comfedcu.org.
Ready to begin the fourth quarter here on KREFSports.tv, presented by Communication Federal Credit Union. Bixby with it first, down by 14 in this second round game. Lamar Lewis just hit 1-3 a couple of possessions ago, left this one short. Buckley on the run for Will Rogers.
Well, he hit one toward the end of the third. That's why they freed him up and had a play designed for him to start this fourth quarter and see if he could hit another one.
Both teams scored 20 in the third period. Lamar Lewis out with it after the turnover, and he tries to shovel it to King, who couldn't handle it, and it's out of bounds back to Rogers.
Not a bad find, driving to the rim, trying to kick it out to Chance King.
Grayson Singleton along with Connor Pasby here on this entire roller coaster ride in the Bixby Invitational. And this ball thrown away. It's loose on the ground and picked up by Sean Lewis. So the team's exchanging turnovers through this first couple of minutes in the fourth quarter. Lewis misfires on the three. Tightsworth back the other way. Crossland. And Lewis knocked it away, but got a piece of
Crossland's wrist, and Brandon Crossland will go to the line.
Crossland does a great job of running the floor. And Tightsworth's able to find him, get him the basketball, and using that length, those long steps to get to the rim.
Third foul on Lamar Lewis. Crossland now with 9. He's the second leading scorer in this game today, behind Terrence Buckley Jr. Now he's the second player into double figures for Will Rogers. The Ropers trying to keep Bixby at arm's length. Lewis airmailed the pass, but Oates caught it on the inline, so Bixby's possession gets a lifeline.
The long pass that Lewis was trying to get it to Connor Cook. He thought he was going to keep cutting to the basket.
Lewis comes out, and Anthony Walter re-enters the game. Knight open off the inbound. The corner three. One bounce and drops.
The shooter's roll, man, he needed to see one go down from the three-point line. See if that can get him going here in this fourth quarter.
Lewis with the steal. King on defense. Tidesworth forces the missed layup, and Walter follows it up for the Spartans.
Good job by Walters trailing on that play to grab the miss.
Well, Bixby has the lead back down to 10. Tidesworth barely gets it across. Bixby has not been this close since the midway part of the second quarter. And the pass deflected out of bounds by Chance King.
And of course, you still got plenty of game left here with 6 minutes. You like what you're doing offensively now. And beating Will Rogers down the floor.
Caleb Mitchell back in for Will Rogers, as is Aiden White for Bixby. Bixby remains in that 1-2-2 zone, and Walter with another foul.
That's 4 on him.
Second foul against Bixby in the quarter. Lance Kite leaving Walter in with the 4 personals. And he's really been their most energetic player today between him and Sean Lewis.
Yeah, he's got a motor to him.
And you see that zone just morph into a 2-3. Tidesworth slashing to the hole. Lost it momentarily, got it back. It was deflected away from him. Mitchell deflected, found his way to Tidesworth, who shovels it across the paint to Oates for the finish.
After all those deflections, Will Rogers was able to get a bucket from Oates underneath. I don't know how they kept that alive and kept the basketball.
One point taken off of Bixby as the Gage Knight 3 was changed to a 2. So it's 52-39. And a whistle on a scramble. And it stays with Bixby. Cyrus Pete comes into the game, taking the place of Tidesworth. Lewis tried to get it to King, but it was taken away by the Ropers. Sean King with the Euro and the finish.
Good move by King, tiptoeing near the baseline or near the out-of-bounds line to stay inbounds, and great finish at the rim.
White watched by Crossland. King handing to a curling Knight. And Bixby down by 15, and its offense stagnating, takes a timeout.
Yeah, trying to talk it over because they had something going offensively, but now they're back to having empty trips on the offensive end.
54-39. Bixby got it down to 10.
But really, it would have been 11 because of the missed score shot from Gage Knight.
You're seeing some transition points for Will Rogers off of Spartan turnovers.
And you mentioned that. Bixby's turned the ball over 12 times, so they haven't taken really good care of the basketball today. And the Ropers have done a really good job making them pay, not just for that over the course of the game, but for all the missed layups that the Spartans have seen in this game.
Yeah, Bixby's forcing a lot of passes where something's not really there, especially in the paint, trying to get the ball inside. But the quickness from the Ropers down low, especially the quick hands from Oates. He's had plenty of deflections when they're trying to get the ball inside.
King, Lewis, cutting to the basket, can't finish another layup, and Pete's out of there with it for Rogers. Sean King on the run, and a good defensive play by Knight to knock it away. The Rogers contingent just below us to our right wanted a foul. But Pete will inbound from underneath the basket, and Mitchell finishes, plus the foul, and the Spartans just fell asleep on the inbound.
Well, it's Gage Knight. Not paying attention, didn't know the ball was going to be thrown in. And he's the one that fouled him, too.
So one shot coming for Mitchell. Caleb Mitchell has 11, and the lead is back to 18. Gage Knight working against King, hands to Lewis. King lets Oates fly by and pulls from the free throw line, can't hit. Walter gets rid of it before he hit the ground. Lewis for three, short. And the rebound tapped and taken by Crossland.
Walter skied up for a rebound to give his team another chance.
Mitchell zooms past Walter and then throws it away. Walter got back into the play and picked off the pass. Knight and Mitchell gets called for the reach.
Yeah, trying to pick his pocket on Gage Knight.
Third foul against Mitchell. Only the first team foul in the quarter against the Ropers. Cook back in, Davis and Sean Lewis as well. Bixby has been playing the last quarter plus without Griffin Stewart. He walked off gingerly, limping, shall I say, in the middle of that third quarter. Knight can't get the midi to go. White has it back for Bixby. Gage Knight, and he's bumped on his way to the basket. Crossland picks up the personal.
Yeah, Gage Knight saw that he had the quickness to get around Crossland, and he was able to and draw a foul.
Under 3 minutes to go, and a timeout on the floor. 30-second timeout taken by Will Rogers. And we'll keep it here, and we'll take the opportunity to tell you what's coming up next here on KREFSports.tv as our coverage from the Bixby Invitational continues. As scheduled for 4 o'clock, Piedmont and Will Rogers girls team is our second game in the consolation bracket. The winner will take on Choctaw in the consolation championship. With Piedmont coming off of the blowout loss to Booker T. Washington, Will Rogers lost a feisty one to Fort Smith Northside.
Yeah, two teams that are pretty good. They just had a tough matchup in the first round. Booker T and Northside, two of the better teams we have here on the girls bracket. So it should be a good one after this, too.
2:57 to go here in this one. Knight springing free and rips the net on a three-pointer.
It's a good feeling for him to see one go down. Play design that is for him, and he's able to make the three.
Wasn't the best of passes either to get it to him, but a good job on the catch. Bixby extending the defense. King rips through. Mitchell on the cut, diving to the basket and scores a strong finish over Connor Cook.
I love staying in attack mode, go right at the defender, and Mitchell was able to.
Knight steps back off the screen And it's too strong on the three. The rebound ricochets to Lewis, who can't finish. And Crossland showing the elbows. And he may have connected with Sean Lewis.
Yeah, you'll see again. I think he popped Sean Lewis after Lewis missed a shot. Crossland was throwing elbows, trying to get the defender off him.
Third foul on Brandon Crossland. 1:56 to go in the fourth quarter. Knight, from a couple of feet behind the line, has this one spin out.
He's had a lot of those just rimmed out from three, and that's his range, though. He's got the green light from anywhere.
Preservation time now for Rogers, and Caden Davis fouls Sean King. Fourth foul in the quarter against Bixby, so the Ropers will shoot on every foul from here on out. Bixby starters are done. And Rogers poised to punch its ticket to the championship game of this invitational and go to 3-0 on the season.
Yeah, really good win for them. Had to work for it. Talked about the chances that Bixby has had really throughout this whole game. They're just coming up empty on their offensive possessions, and Will Rogers made them pay.
King splits the pair. As we approach a minute to go, Aaron Hall in the game along with Lamar Lewis, Caden Davis, Aiden White, and Connor Cook. White hounded by Mitchell. Skips it to the far side. That's tipped and taken by King. 1-on-2, and the pass for Crossland goes awry, as does the alley-oop attempt. White can't finish, and King goes up top to rip this one down. And this one is all she wrote as Pete glides to the basket and one. The foul is on Aaron Hall.
Icing on the cake here, and Pete's able to stay in attack mode, get all the way to the basket.
Pete completes the and one. Richard Talone comes in. And Jay Oates takes to the bench, and a 20-point lead for Will Rogers. Lewis fires from deep, off the side of the rim. Talone chases down the rebound. Pete still in go mode, and Crossland can't finish that alley-oop. Crossland holding it with 10. And that'll do it. Will Rogers gets a second-round victory over Bixby to advance to the tournament championship, 62-42, Connor.
Yeah, good performance for Will Rogers. Really taking advantage of the opportunities, missed opportunities by the Spartans on the offensive end. They were in attack mode all day long. And so many guys step up in big roles, and we know what Crossland can do. And the presence by Oates, we've seen him make some mid-range shots and just be a havoc on the defensive end. Obviously, it hurts for Bixby to have Griffin Stewart get injured in that ball game. So without him in the second half, it was really hard for the Spartans to really get anything scoring inside.
Well, Rogers will await the winner of Sand Springs and Lincoln Christian. We'll see that game at 8:30 to close our coverage today. Bixby going to the other side of the bracket, the third place game where they'll play the loser of the aforementioned matchup. Will